Now we're going to take a look at scanning sales documents into FreshBite. Obviously, the first thing I have to do is put the invoice into the system. And I'll pull up your invoice. We don't have to preview each of the documents, but both the invoice, pick ticket, and shipping manifest, all three of those, will print out with a similar barcode. And that is there to indicate the invoice number and how many pages there are for that invoice, pick ticket, or shipping manifest, so that we can actually tell you if you're missing a page. Again, they're all similar, so we won't preview each of them. But now to actually scan those documents, we will pull up Sales, FreshBite Scan, and Scan Pick Tickets is where I'll start. I've loaded the documents on my scanner. The first thing I'll do is select source. This is the scanner I'd like to use. You also have options of whether or not you want to scan black and white, grayscale, your choice of DPI, brightness, and whether or not the scan is being done from the feeder or flatbed, and whether or not you'd like the system to scan both sides of the document. Now I will select Acquire. Important to note that the system will remember which options you've selected on this screen, so you don't have to select them every time you're coming into the screen. And you can use any multifunction printer, copier, scanner that you've got, so long as a Twain driver is available. Additionally, a number of customers do like document scanners, mainly the Fujitsu line, just because of the volume and durability. Once I'm done here, I can come to Process Images, and now each of these invoices or pick tickets are here for each of the invoices. And if anything couldn't be scanned, it would be down here in this box, and I would just rename it. I'll choose Process, and now those are paired up with the invoices they belong with in the system. Now I will also take a look at scanning invoices as well as scanning manifest, since everybody has a different variety. Now I've loaded those invoices onto my document scanner. Again, if you needed to select any options here, you could. And now we'll choose Acquire. Important thing to note regarding invoices and shipping manifest is if there are any documents that the customer gives you along with signing the invoice, you can put those behind the invoices, and FreshBite will recognize anything between the barcodes as part of that invoice. And here I've scanned one image and it has listed that here, and I can see how it's named and everything. If I have additional documents I'd like to scan, I can come back to Scan Documents and choose Acquire again. And it does tell me the start and the end time for each scan that I've done. Now I will come here to the images again, and I can see additional invoices were scanned in. And for example, this one had a customer document that went with it, so FreshBite's put that in there as a sundry page. Again, when I'm done, I'll hit Process, and all of those are paired up with the correct invoices in the software. Lastly, we'll take a look at Manifest. I've loaded those on the scanner, and again, we'll just hit acquire, and Freshbyte will scan each of these in. It's important to note that based on your scanner, that will determine the speed these are scanned in. So I'm using a basic desktop scanner, not very powerful, so it is a little bit slower. Again, if you choose something like a Fujitsu, those do scan very quickly. We have some customers that are scanning upwards of 1,000 invoices a day into the system. Now all of those are in. I will come here and I can see each of those manifest. And again, when I'm done, I will choose process. Now the question comes, where can I view these documents? So the first place we'll look at is we can come to Fresh Scan and choose Review Scan Images. So this allows me, if I'd like to, select a date range, and I will. And you can look at the additional options as far as do you just want to look at the status of certain document types, and do you want to look at just open, delivered, billed, etc. So now this shows me all of my invoices for this time period, what the document type that was scanned in, and I can then choose to view. If I have faxing enabled, I could fax or email. So that's everything on the left-hand side of the screen. On the right-hand side, I can see where images are not available. So these particular documents, I scanned in the manifest, but I did not scan in the customer invoice or the PIC ticket for that. There are a few places where we can actually view those scanned documents. The first is the customer master. I'll pull up one of our customers here, and we can go to their accounting tab and ledger. And I'll pull up this particular invoice. It's one I scanned earlier, and we can look at the scanned images here. You'll see I have a scan for each of the documents, and I can look at that here and see if there were any marks on the PIC ticket or invoice or whatnot. In addition, we can also go to the shipping screen, and from here I can look at the date range I would like. And then based on the invoice I have here, I can look at scanned images. This will actually show me everything I had selected on the shipping screen and shows me the documents that are scanned in and the documents that are not. And there's also a report that goes along with that. And we actually have scan images for invoices, manifest, and PIC tickets individually.